Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced, blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clues.
Hello, and welcome to episode, let me look here, 57 of Coffee with Carib Carter. There we go. We're going to do this thing once again, okay? Make it hefty, hot, and hearty. Who can tell me where that was from? Drop me an email. Whoever can tell me where that was from, I'll send you a pound of Honduran coffee. To the first person can tell me. Hefty, hot, and hearty. I'm going to give you a hint. It was not coffee. I don't think it was not coffee. Okay? It was about something else. At any rate, we're back on together on Coffee with Carib Carter. And today's show is a real treat because it's really going to center around an interview, which is kind of a unique interview. Okay, we're gonna do our $1,000 list in Caribbean, and I'm taking you to Argentina. We haven't been there in a long time. Okay, I'm taking you to Argentina to a property that I find very fascinating. All right, it's like 12 acres near a gorgeous city. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get into it, but you're going to like this. I'll give you the name of the area: San Rafael, Mendoza region of Argentina. Okay. Let me give you the whole thing because I think it's funny. Cañada Seco, San Rafael, Mendoza. You know, it sounds like my wife's name, Rachel, Rio, Salas, Clues. Okay. All of it. They get it all in. Okay. In those countries, they get it all in. So there's no mistaking who you're talking to or where you are. All right. So we're going to go there, and you're going to love this property at an incredible price for the property I'm going to show you. We're going to have a motivation moment that I think you're going to get a real kick out of. It's off the wall. I'm going to warn you, it is off the wall. I'll give you a hint. Some of you, when I say this, you know, I know what he's going to show. I know the video he's going to show us when I do some of you are saying, I know what the video you're going to show us, but I'll put it all in perspective for you when we get to the motivation moment. And we got to move quick though, because the interview, I already did the interview, and it's fantastic. All right. It's fantastic. I'm calling it an almost there interview, and we're going to move to it very quickly in a minute. You know what I think I'm going to do? Here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to start off with the property. Okay. Normally we do it the other way. I do the interview first and then the property. I'm going to start off with the property because I want to finish up on the interview. Okay. It's a unique interview because it's normally we talk a lot about investments, don't we? Okay. I tell you, there's no better property, land, rainforest, beachfront investment in the world right now than in Central and South America. That's what we talk about that. But this investment with this gentleman is different, but you're going to like it. I promise you're going to like it. So, but before we get to it, let's just go ahead and start out. Let's just go ahead and start out with your $1,000 listing Caribbean. Okay. I love these $1,000 listing Caribbeans. I really, because, clearly we're partners with ECI Development, which is the number one residential resort community developers in all of Central and South America, branching out around the world. And their properties, I always tell you, are Mike Cobb communities, Grand Pacifica. Oh my God. Look it up, grandpacifica.com, Grand Bayman. Grand Pacifica is the one without the D. It's Nicaragua. Grand Bayman, there you go, with the D. Belize, but he also has them in Honduras, the Reef. He has them in Costa Rica, Panama. And these are the Mike Cobb communities are the creme de la creme, all the amenities. There you go. Go there and look them up because you're going to be thrilled. And your home there is the homes, which are gorgeous, are a tenth of the price of what you pay in the U.S. Okay. A tenth of the price. We've talked about a couple of them specifically. As part of the $1,000 listing Caribbean. Okay. And fortunately, Mike Cobb, his partner Joel's their attitude is, look, help the people find a home down here, because the more people that come in, the more people are going to realize how wonderful life is in Central and South America. It really is, as we always say at the Offshore Club, at your Offshore Club, the good life at a great price. Show them everywhere. And then, because different strokes for different folks, okay? Remember last week I showed you one in the, what was it, Guatemalan outback or something, or Peruvian outback, that's what it was. You will never find me living there. It's a wonderful place with an incredible price. I think it was $79,000 for a place that would cost 10 times as much in this up here in the U.S. Can only get to it by boat. But some of you who are off the gridders, who are loners, or like our super producer, Gary, who, by the way, you're going to get a meet in person next week because we have something special to share with you. But he can do anything. You know, he's done my roof, my electricity, my plumbing, my car. So for him, and he loves to fish, and the fishing there is incredible. For him, it's perfect, okay? But I know for some of you, you know, you say, Carter, that ain't me. I want all the amenities. That's so like Grand Pacific, Grand Payment. The one I'm going to show you today kind of combines the best of both worlds. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Here you go. It's a Vivian community. You know how I love Vivian. There you go, vivian.com. Go to Vivian. Just sometimes when you're sitting in front of your computer, you have a few extra minutes, go to vivian.com and just check anywhere in the world. I type in Reggio Calabria, Italy, where my mother was from sometimes, just to see what homes are there for sale. All right. So there you have it. This is the home we're going to be looking at today. Okay. It is number, I always tell you this one's 28075. Let me make sure. 280775. So with Gary, you know, he can live anywhere, totally off the grid. So the one we looked at last week, the Outback Peru, perfect for someone like him, or a lot of you out there who just like to be on your own and can do everything on it. That's great. Today's kind of the best of both worlds. I'm going to show you a place that's not off the grid at all, but it's in the country, yet it's real close to the city. Okay. So that's the best of both. Actually, it's kind of a place I might like. So here we go. There we go. Let's talk about this. Okay, let's talk about this. Let me read you what it says here. House with fruit farm for sale in Cañada Seco, San Rafael, Mendoza, Argentina. Mamma mia. Okay. So property is a unique opportunity for looking to live in a pastoral area, what I just said, yet close proximity to all the amenities and services you can have while you're still in an idyllic countryside. That's what it says. We're talking 12.5 acres, folks. 12.5 acres. The 12.5 acres here. So let's take a look at it. I always like to start with the long view. Okay, let me say first, it's 2 bedrooms. It is San Rafael, is a city of about 100,000 people in Argentina. Is one of the top 5 tourist attraction cities. So you are within 2 miles. 2-3 miles of tremendous shops, shopping centers, schools, supermarkets, bread shops. It lists them here. Butchers, fruit and vegetable vendors, everything you can want, hairdressers, everything. Okay, veterinarians, all the services you can want. You're 2 miles away. Yet you're out in the country. Here's where you are. Okay. I like to always put it in. Let's go with like we're doing a movie. Take the long shot. Okay. See where San Rafael is there? That's where this home is. Okay. Okay. Look how you're right on near the border with Chile. You're not a couple hours from Santiago, which is a gorgeous city in its own self. Okay. A couple hours away. So let's take a look at what you'll be getting. Remember, this is not just a home, 12 acres with beautiful vineyards. Okay. So let's take a look here. Let me get my papers out of the way. We're doing our long shot, medium shot. There is San Rafael. Remember, Argentina is very European. When you look to walk down that street shopping at your leisure, stop by a coffee shop, maybe sip a little wine, an outdoor cafe, you're a couple miles away. If you buy this home, you're a couple miles away. So what's the home like, Carib Carter? Let me get it up here. I love my show and tell. You know that I love my show and tell. Wow. Beautiful, spacious, gracious home. Here's the front porch. Okay, the veranda. Isn't that lovely? By the way, this comes fully furnished. All this stuff you're going to see, you get it. Okay. Look at that perfect condition. Perfect condition. Let's walk inside. Let's go in the living room. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Look at those hardwood floors. This is good living. This is good living. The den, built-in bookshelves. Folks, this taking care of everything here. And remember, you're in the idyllic countryside. You're in your own vineyards, 12 acres of vineyards, and yet you're only a couple miles from San Rafael, that beautiful European type city. I know there are a lot of people who love kitchens. The other day, I made a mistake of saying I know women love kitchens. I know there are a lot of men that love kitchens too. All right. Look at that. There, it's just fantastic. This is a well-constructed home. Bedroom. You got to have a bedroom. It's 2-bedroom, by the way. 2-bedroom. You can see this home has been well taken care of. Okay. This home has been well taken care of. So it's turnkey. It's turnkey move in. Okay. Bathroom. I like this. You know what I like about this bathroom? Look at the sink. Okay. They've gone the extra mile for all the appointments in this house. Okay. It's nicer than my sink. Okay. I like that. And I said it's vineyards. Vineyards. Okay. Let me make sure you understand when we're talking vineyards here. We're talking. Okay. I think those are fig trees. Okay. But figs, peaches, olives, mulberry. I think some of those were mulberry. Some of those big ones back there, maybe. Some of you folks know this stuff better than me. What am I saying? And grape vineyards. Okay. This is everything. This is everything. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous opportunity. Okay. This is a gorgeous opportunity. Say if you're a family, imagine just moving your family down there. Your kids go a couple miles away to school. In the U.S. now, they're bused to hell to get to school. Not down there. You're 3 or 4 miles away from elementary schools, junior highs, high schools. Quality. Argentina's a very good education system. Then you can work the vineyards together, enjoy yourselves, get some horses. You got 12 acres, 12 and a half acres. So what does all this cost? $200,000 total. Think of a place like this in Napa Valley, California, where they have those kind of vineyards. Okay. What do you think? 4 million, 5 million, 10 million? Easily. Okay. And the weather is fantastic all year round there. Okay. The weather's fantastic all year round. So as I started out telling you, this one is the best of both worlds. It's idyllic, rural, idyllic, and yet close to all the amenities. A gorgeous European city. I'm sorry, it's a European city. Okay. There you go. There we go. Check it out. vivion.com. 280755. Type it in the little box in the upper right-hand corner. Click, and you are there in what could soon be your own home, almost your own plantation in Cañada Seca, San Rafael, Mendoza, Argentina. Okay, folks. Honest to God, folks, go for it. If you have any inclination, go for it. By the way, according to the article, property taxes are like under $100 a year. What would they be in California? $1 million? Come on, it's disgusting. It's appalling. So there you go. There is your $1,000 listing, Caribbean, which I am proud to bring you. $200,000 for $5, $6, $7 million home. Okay, and property. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Which brings me to another great investment. Our interview with Alan Celizar. I always get that wrong. I'm embarrassed by it. Celizar. I've known him 10 years. You think I learned to pronounce his name, but I think that's it. This is a businessman. He's a serious businessman, a successful businessman. Don't be put off by his youth. You know, I'm always reminded, remember the debate with Reagan and Mondale, and the Democrats were trying to make an issue of Reagan's age. I think he was my age at the time, 75, somewhere around there. And he looked at Mondale during the debate and said, yeah, this whole age issue, I promise you that I am not going to make an issue of my opponent's youth and inexperience, which was just defang the whole age issue. Some of you remember that. And that's one of the reasons we love the guy so much. But Alan he's young, but he's a very successful businessman. I can tell you he has some investment opportunities going. Now let me take out, not invest. He has some investments of his own going that he knows of what he speaks. Okay. So let's talk with Alan. Keep an ear attuned here, because we're going to keep bringing him back, because I always help you get these great property investments. There's going to be some other great investments in Honduras and other countries that are really developing quickly down there. So let's go to Alan. Come on in, Alan. Let's do this thing.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's good to see you. So
You too.
Let's give him a little background. You were born where in Honduras?
In the capital, Tegucigalpa.
Tegucigalpa. Okay.
Sure.
There you go, folks. That's even a fun word to pronounce to me. Tegucigalpa, which is a beautiful city, by the way. I think it's a gorgeous city.
Yeah.
And you went to school there?
Yes.
And became a successful businessman there. Now you run back and forth between the two countries. And, when we've talked over the past couple months, I have really been pleasantly surprised by business developments and business development opportunities in Honduras. So let's talk about that some, because I think it is a very, very much emerging economic arena, in my opinion. I think folks are very smart to look there for investments. Obviously, housing investments, we talk about that all the time here, but not just housing investments. What's going on?
I mean, you just hit a lot of the, a lot of key businesses or opportunities that are basically, available to develop anywhere in the world, right? You talked about real estate. You talk about, specific or very general, so to speak, very general opportunities. And, one of the biggest ones is, natural resources.
Yes.
We're not going to hone in on the specifics of natural resources, because that's a very, 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 very general and huge conversation, right? There's a lot of things to discuss, on that specific matter. But when it comes to Honduras, everybody likes Honduras. You go to Honduras and, it's so nice. The people are nice. When you go over there and you spend dollars, it's nice, right? As long as you're not living there making lempiras, right? Because at the end of the day,
lempiras, folks, is the currency in Honduras, which I think right now is like 24 lempiras to $1, right?
It's closer to 25 to 1.
25 to 1. Okay.
So, I mean, to be fair, when the minimum wage in Honduras is close to $300 a month, that's why I mean when I say when you go over there and you go spend the dollars earned here in the United States, it's very nice. The exchange rate is for us, not against us, right?
Yes.
But going back to the investment opportunities in Honduras, at the end of the day, it's all who you know, what exactly you're trying to do, who are you trying to help? Are you just trying to help yourself? Are you trying to help the community? What is it exactly that you're looking for, right?
Right.
When it comes to the natural resource arena, Honduras is a very rich country. A
lot of people don't realize that. That's
most people don't realize it.
Most people have no idea. And when you and I first met, I was stunned, because you were explaining to me there are tremendous, I think it was iron ore we were talking about, right?
Yes.
Iron ore resources in Honduras, which shocked me, but they're still there.
Well, yeah. I mean, nobody touches them because, to the layman, and no disrespect to anybody, that's just not a thing, because nobody hears about it. It doesn't get advertised, and whoever kind of is in the know, you're looked at as a kook.
Yes.
Because, the investment part of it, when you're trying to develop a mine, so to speak, whether if it's iron, gold, silver, whatever it is, whatever natural resource it is, when you're in the development phase, it's very expensive. And if you
Yes.
don't have the totality of the investment capital, you have to at the end of the day, talk to somebody who's willing to put up that money. And at the end of the day, going back to the same thing, right? It's okay. Well, I have never heard of this. Why would I give you money? Even if
Yes.
you have all the surveys, even if you have the land that you own, even if you have that, nobody wants to really risk their cash, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
because I'm from there and I've seen the things with these two eyes, right? That's why I got into it. So
Yeah. And
it's controversial.
yeah, it's controversial, but the fact is, it's all there. It has, for some reason, look, we're talking oil, we're talking iron, we're
Mhm.
talking gas, I think we're talking gold, right?
Yep. Yep.
And everything is there, and it's kind of like virgin territory, which is
Mhm.
one of the reasons nobody knows about it.
It is
So
virgin territory, yes.
it is virgin territory, but now I think there is movement. Is that what you're experiencing now? Is there movement?
Well, again, that's a very general portrayal. Okay.
Okay.
When
Okay.
you talk about movement, you have companies that have been in the oil extraction process for 100 years, right? There's
Yeah.
companies that have been there for over 50 years, and the problem here is that they've been quietly doing their work. You extract your ore, whether you refine it or process it, somewhere else, whether if it's in the United States or anywhere else, and you do it quietly. Only certain government officials know about it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you tend to basically suppress the information, and when you actually have to file, whether if it's taxes or to pay in the country where you're doing it, you're still evading a little bit of taxes. Come on, let's be real. Nobody likes to pay taxes, right?
Yeah.
So in the end, that information is always suppressed. You don't report your real numbers because, let's be honest, when you're in the natural resources industry, that's basically a license to print money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I'm doing it, I don't want to tell you how much money I'm printing.
Sure.
So again, it's very vague. And talking about the movement aspect of it, yes, there's movement. Do people know about it? Of course not.
Of course not. But
Like I can't really go into what I'm trying to do because
I understand.
I'm a kook, right? I'm the crazy guy. So there's movement for sure. Like there
But
is movement.
what you are doing is working, and I have a feeling that is going to lead to other people saying it's time to jump on these opportunities down there.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I'll tell you who I can assure you has an eye on it, and you would know better than me, but I would bet China with its Belt and Roads initiative. I think they're in 33 countries down there now, and Honduras may already be one of them.
See,
And
that's I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
You are correct. You are very
Yeah.
correct. And the problem that I see, from firsthand experience is when you talk about China or countries like China, they want and they want and they want.
Oh yeah.
And I was when was this? Probably 10 or 12 years ago. I was in the middle of negotiations with the Chinese for the iron ore property that we were trying to. We actually had everything already done. We just needed the money for the extraction process, right?
Right.
And the problem was, we needed that capital, final capital investment, so to speak. And I was in communication with the Chinese. Obviously, it's a government company, right? State company.
Sure.
State
Oh, they all are. Yeah.
obviously. So when before we agreed on a price, they were asking me, Alan, how much money do you need to get this up and running? And based on the numbers the engineers gave us, it was somewhere around $20 to $25 million, something like that.
Right.
But all the work had been previously done. Okay, all the exploration had been done, all the surveys,
Right.
satellite imaging, everything was done. And the guy comes back to me and says, well, sure, we'll do that, but we will only give you 5% of the proceeds.
Oh.
So we already knew what the proceeds were going to be
Yeah.
because we had already done our legwork, our due diligence.
Yep.
And guess what me and my partners obviously said? We said, hey, man, we spent already about $2 million doing the due diligence, during the due diligence process. And the property is ours. You're saying that you're going to give us, well, not give us, but you're going to put in the plant.
Invest, yeah.
You're going to do the investment. You want the property as well, and you're going to give us 5%, but we used to own everything, so I have to turn everything over for 5%. So I said, no deal. I'm sorry. My partners, we're not going to go for it. I told them, they said, hey, no. So my point is that the Chinese, whether they do things or not, I'm not saying they don't do things, but who wins in the end? It's only them. What are they going to do for the community, local community?
That's worldwide. That's what's happened to countries all over Africa.
So it's basically shooting yourself in the foot for a little bit of money. I think the community is worth a lot more than 5%. Don't you think?
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Good.
That's
good. I think that's when we met, back when you were negotiating those deals.
It was right around that time. Yeah.
Right around that time. And so I guess the real key for our viewers is what can they watch for? Where can they look to make some of their own investments in Honduras at this point? Okay. I mean, we're always talking to them about land investments. Every week that's what we talk about. And they are tremendous. The return on those investments are going to be huge. I have land investments of my own there, as you know. But what about the other areas? What can people watch for? Where can they look to see what's developing?
See, that's a very tricky question. And I don't mean to sound defeatist, right?
Right.
Because when you deal with a country, and let's just not specify Honduras, for example, when you deal with a country, when you talk about natural resources, which is this is taboo in Honduras, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking about an industry like mining, natural resources, and all that stuff, and which is again taboo, and you're looking for something like that, but you have to deal with government bureaucracy.
Oh yeah.
You have to deal with a country that creates and produces government. They don't produce anything. It produces government, right? So every year the government gets bigger, more spending, more regulations on the people, more taxes, more red tape to create your own company.
Right.
So forgive me if I don't advertise what I'm trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I have to deal with my silent partner, which is the government. Yes, there are ways around it, of course. Like there's always a loop, right? But the problem is, when you talk about what can people do to get into these things, it's all about who you know in the end.
Sure.
But then the other question is, well, if you know that person, can you trust them, right? Do they really have what they say they have? Have they done their due diligence, right? And that's the part where in Honduras, for the people that know, quote unquote, some of these people have been trying to get something up and running, natural resource wise, right?
Right.
Having done the due diligence, the problem is that then comes the greed aspect of it, right?
Sure.
So I've talked to investors 15 years ago that wanted to do something, right? But then you have a landowner that says, okay, well, you're not coming into my land unless you pay me $10 million. That's not a sound idea, because you're shooting yourself in the foot, right? So then you're dealing with, okay, you have the investor that wants to do the business, right? Do the investment.
Yep.
And then you have the person who owns the property with the mineral rights,
right?
But their terms are unreasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, how much is your land worth? A couple $1 million? Okay, here you go, $2 million. You want to be a part of the development? Sure, I'll give you 10%, but I already paid you for your land. No, I want $10 million before you come into my land. So the logic and the common sense is not there, right? And that's the general aspect of how things have been working in Honduras when it comes to natural resources, because everyone knows that you can become a billionaire doing it.
Yeah.
So if you own a piece of land and you have a couple of surveys, but you need to invest $2 or $3 more million, to get proven reserves reports, so to speak, those reports are expensive. you don't have the money for them, but you have somebody willing to pay for them.
Yeah.
But before you let them pay for them so that they can give you a stake in the company later on in the extraction phase, no, you want money up front because you don't know if you're going to live till tomorrow, right? Everybody wants money now. So patience is a virtue, literally. Right?
As you're saying all this, I'm thinking two things. One is I'm thinking of what I think it was the Tin Man said to Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. It's a long journey through a dangerous country. For macro investments. Now, folks, we're not talking about micro investments here. We're not talking about, buying property we're talking at a macro level here. Now,
we're talking about country changing projects.
Yeah, which is where Alan operates. But the other thing that occurs to me is we need to have you on regularly because I think there are great macro investment opportunities, but we need someone like you. Matter of fact, we need you to help guide us through them. What do you think?
Hey, I'm flattered, man. I can tell you this much. I've been trying to get some of these things off the ground for 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
So, I started right out of high school. And, when I graduated high school, with my father, I started, with my first job. But while I was going to college and paying for college and, working, I was trying to get one of these things off the ground. And what I did learn was, those things, first, it's all about who you know.
Yeah.
Right. Number two.
But you do know the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you do. That's why we're getting them off the ground now, because I finally narrowed everything down, to having due diligence done, having the right landowners, which now I am one, and having the right project with the right financiers, so to speak.
Yes.
And the main thing here is that wherever you go trying to do like one of those mega projects, right? Whatever it is, whether it's a natural resource, let's just encompass it in general aspect of a giga project, so to speak. The main thing here is when you are thinking about doing something like that, you go to the area. Let's just say that the area is La Mosquitia, right? You go to an area like that to do an investment. You can't be white. You can't not speak Honduran, Spanish, right? You can't be a white person, period, because they see you. When people see that, they see the dollar sign right here.
A dollar sign. When I moved there, when I lived there, they used to. I remember I was building a wall around a home I had in Vista Bonita over outside of La Ceiba, and fortunately, I had a dear friend, Honduran, and she said to me, "I need to do all the negotiations. Otherwise, you're going to be paying what we call the gringo price.
You're going to be paying the foreigner.
I did not want to pay the gringo price. Yeah. But we have you. So, unfortunately, we're out of time, but this is great. I mean, this is just fantastic, which I knew it would be.
It's like I said, it's a long conversation.
Yes, but you need, folks, I'm telling you, there are opportunities unfolding in Honduras at the macro level, which I want all of you to know about. So, Alan, you will come back from time to time and give us an update, right?
I'd be happy to.
It's fantastic. All right, sir.
Close a lot of details, though.
Thank you very, very much. This has been terrific.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
And we'll be talking soon. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Wow. He's just terrific guy. Fair, as you can see, very, very smart, folks. And, sometimes when people get to be my age, they say, well, he's kind of young. This is a sharp young man. I know because I started working with him 10 years ago. And look, all this time later, I still look to him for macro investment advice in Honduras. So fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Great guy. Just a great guy. I fell in love with the guy the first time I met him over 10 years ago. We were working on an iron ore project at the time, and he was just very, very impressive. And as you can see, he still is, and becomes more impressive all the time because he becomes more successful. So he is one of your new best friends now. Okay. I promise you, we're going to have him back on. Just take notes, keep an ear to him. I think there's a chance he could make you some money in the future. So We're always alert, aren't we? We're always alert. That's part of what I do for you at Coffee with Carib Carter. And to help you do it, to be motivated, to make your move down there and join him doing some of this stuff he's doing. I think because you are out of the U.S. now, that you're out of U.S. culture. Not in today's world, not with the internet. Folks, I got to be honest with you. I hear my wife talking on her phone, and it's just, I'm thinking, well, she's talking with her friend Sherry, close to here, in York here, or Kathy, whatever. No, she's talking to her mother and she's on FaceTime. It's just like there are no boundaries now. There are no physical boundaries, so don't have any emotional boundary. You can make your move offshore, and you're going to have all the things you love up here, plus a lot of things you've lost up here that you're going to love down there. Okay. It is not just a good life at a great price. It's now the better life at an incredible price, and in the sun, sand, and surf of Central and South America. So as I tell you every week, folks, let's do this thing.